Hello guys, Absolute Duelist here, coming at you with another One Piece Locals match. And in today's One Piece Locals match, I have taken Rebecca to Locals this week because, well, we wanted to do a bit of testing, and this match was before the ban list, so it is currently post OP04, not OP04.5, but nonetheless there are a lot of cool games and none of them was actually impacted by the ban list, so we're going to go ahead and see how this game's going to go. It is against the green purple Doffy, a deck that I'm actually looking to play after the ban list. It's something I've been trying out, trying to figure out if this is really the kind of deck for me. I'm currently liking it, but I'm not too sure if it'll be this I'll be playing or I'll be playing the red purple Luffy. When we hit OP05 though, I will be playing that red purple lore though, because I've got a build for that and I really am enjoying it. But nonetheless, enough banter, let's go ahead and get into the game. So we are going against the Doffy. The Doffy is going second, or is he going first? It looks like I'm going first, so you go ahead and use the Rebecca and pass, grabbing that one cost Rebecca. Doflamingo is on 2 Don. He goes ahead and plays that Bueno Festa, looking at the top 5 cards of his deck, going ahead and adding from the top 5 an Uta. Very good card right there, allowing it to rest itself and neg a Don to block, to go ahead and rest a 5 cost or less character. It's a very strong card. We go ahead and rest 1 though to play the Corridor Colosseum, resting 2 to use the leader ability though to go ahead and get that True Bastardo, and then we go ahead and play the Rebecca 1 cost to go ahead and grab that Olympus off the top of our deck. So far we're fitting out very nicely in Rebecca. What do you guys think of Rebecca though after the ban list? I'd love to hear your thoughts about that in the comment section below. But after that, we do pass turn. The Doflamingo player does go ahead and swing 5. We counter 1 with that Olympus. And then he's going to rest 3 to play the Nami. Look at the top 3 cards. Oh, he accidentally showed them, didn't mean to. And goes ahead and grabs that 7-drop Luffy there. Very, very strong card in the deck. Being a card that can just play 2 characters or even 3 if you do have the right combination. So we're on our 5 Don turn now. He's still got 4 life. And let's see where this is going to go. Looks like I'm just debating what the play is. We could use that True Bastardo on the Nami to go ahead and remove that, stop him from getting some searches. We could also go ahead and just play the Olympus to have it for set up next turn. Like, there's a lot of different options that we have, but it looks like we're going to rest 4 to go ahead and True Bastardo the Nami, get rid of his consistency. Consistency is very strong, so getting rid of it now is probably better. Then we go ahead and grab that Sabo with the leader ability off the top of our deck. Turn number 3 for the Doffy player now. What's he gonna do? Like, he does have options on the board. Like, he could go ahead and play a Gil Tessero here, which wouldn't be bad, but he's gonna go ahead and swing 6 at life. We go ahead and hit a King Kong Gum, allowing us to discard a Corridor Colosseum and a Luffy, while also drawing 3 cards, fixing our hand a bit, which is always nice. And he goes ahead and plays that Gil Tessero and ends his turn by restanding 2 Don. Our turn now on the 7 Don turn. Let's see what we're going to do here. Like, we need to probably deal with this Gil Tessero. Like, it is a very, very strong card. We're going to go ahead and play the Olympus. Olympus is going to go ahead and decrease the Gil Tessero. And then we trash 2 from the deck. And then we go ahead and play an Kyros, which also goes ahead and trashes 1 and kills that Gil Tessero, stopping him from getting that consistency there. We don't want him to have the consistency. We want to get rid of those as soon as possible. But it looks like he is on his 8th Don turn now. So what's he going to do? He's probably going to end up playing that Film Luffy. I don't see why he wouldn't. But he's going to go ahead and swing into life with the Doflamingo for 5. We do just counter with the Gaiats, putting us up to 7. Plays the Film Luffy, and then also plays the Nami, resting 1 to look at the top 3 again. Will he grab something? What will he grab? He goes ahead and grabs another Film Luffy. That's pretty good there, giving him a little more ways to play blockers. Now, what are we going to do? We're on our 9 Don turn here. Like, we could always play a 7-drop Luffy here, trying to swing it into the Nami and also swinging it into the Luffy. He does have the counter power for it, most likely, but we're going to swing 5 into his life, probably trying to bait out that blocker, and we get the blocker. Okay, that's very good for us. So now that we've baited out the blocker, what are we going to do? So we're going to rest, what is that, 5? To go ahead and play a Cavendish. Okay, then we're probably going to put 1 on the Cavendish, which will allow us to go ahead and deal with that Nami, which is very nice. And we're going to go ahead and King Kong Gun the Cavendish as well. Very nice there. And then we use Olympus's ability to go ahead and try to KO the Kyros, resting the Corridor Colosseum and decreasing the Nami. And then we're probably going to put 1 Don onto the Cavendish, swing into the Luffy, resting our leader, trashing 2 and KOing the Nami, and we try to swing into the Luffy. So he's going to rest 2 to go ahead and use the film event. I actually don't know what that one's called. It is Union Armada from what I can tell. Very good for us. He's gone ahead and used that, something that he can use to protect like Namis and stuff, when he could have just used a 1k counter. But maybe he doesn't want to use them because he's... looking at his hand, actually, I can see it a bit, and he looks like he does have quite a few events. He has like 3 in hand, so maybe that's the reason he used it. Okay, so what's he going to do, though? Like, he could go ahead and play another Film Luffy, which wouldn't be bad because it gets him more blockers on the board, more bodies. But he's going to go ahead and swing 8 into my life. No, he's going to swing 8 into the Kyros, but which won't be protected because, well, our leader and our stadium is actually rested right now. So that's actually very good. Get rid of that now. Very smart. So we draw for turn. We're on our 10 Don turn here. He's got the Film Uta on the board, so that's going to make his life very, very nice. But how are we going to play this? We're going to go ahead and rest 1, get a Leo to our hand, which is going to make killing some of these things on the board very easy, being able to most likely kill that Uta on the board. But what are we going to play? Like, I can just barely see my hand. Something we could play is that Sabo that we've been holding the entire game, so the Olympus won't be able to KO anything, and then we'll also be able to draw 2 and trash 2 to fix our hand a bit. So it looks like we're going to rest 5, and we are going to play that Sabo, drawing 2 and then trashing 2. What are we going to trash here? We're going to trash the Leo that we added. Interesting choice. Like, if we didn't trash the Leo, we could have just killed the Uta. But we could actually just kill it with the Cavendish as well. So there is also that. Maybe that's the route I'm going for here. So we use the Olympus, trashing 2, going ahead and decreasing that Uta. And we're most likely going to put a decent amount of Don on this Cavendish. Like, we're on 6. I would probably put 3 on it. Just so we can go ahead and... oh no, we're going to put 1 on it. Swing into the Luffy and then kill the Uta. Interesting choice on my part. Maybe we have something we can play for free Dom, which is worth it. So we're going to rest the 3, and we're going to play a Bartolomeo. So that's actually pretty good, because it means we have 2 blockers on the board. 2 ways to protect this Cavendish. We've also got the Olympus on the board. I'm also just checking my deck size right there, because it is very small. So I got to make sure I get it at the right number where I don't deck myself out. So we got to be very careful when it comes to our deck size, right? But anyway, it looks like he's organizing his Don a bit, thinking about where he wants to go with specific plays. He does go ahead and drop a Sugar, most likely. Oh, he rests the Olympus. I thought he might have rested the Bartolomeo, but he's probably going to try and swing out into this Olympus, right? So he's going to go ahead and swing 8. Are we going to block it, is the question, because I don't think our hand is very big right now. So it's going to be interesting to see, are we going to block this? We just let the Olympus die. Okay, interesting. Not too sure why I'll just let it die there, but he's going to go ahead and swing, I think that's 8 into the Cavendish. Okay, we do choose to block this one. And then he's going to go ahead and play... I don't know what that card's called. It's one of the film structure deck cards. I don't actually know its name. So let's see what we're going to do here. We've got 10 Dom. We've got a lot of options in our hand, possibly. We can always use the Rebecca ability here to look at the top 2 to potentially get something good. What are we going to do? So we have, it looks like 6 or 7 cards left in our deck. Just making sure that we don't deck ourselves out, because if you hit 0 in one piece, unless you're playing Nami, you just lose. So you've got to be very careful with that. But what is the outcome of this? Where do we want to go? Well, we're probably not going to play something first, right? Because we need to deal with that Sugar. So swinging into the Sugar for maybe 7 first is a smart move. Like, I don't think that's a terrible idea, thinking about it right now. We could also just try and swing with the Sabo, because that is obviously another play. Swing with the Sabo into life, try to get him to use that Luffy blocker would be a pretty decent idea. But we're going to put 1 onto the Cavendish. We are going to swing into the Sugar, is my assumption. We swing into the Luffy. Oh, okay, and kill the Buena Festa. And he does just go ahead and use the Spider's Web. I feel like that might have been a misplay on my part, because if I just swang into the Sugar, we could go ahead and play something and not have to worry. So I think that was probably a bit of a misplay, I'm gonna be honest. But we're gonna go ahead and play the Rebecca. Not a bad option here. And we're gonna go ahead and grab... Well, it's the Sugar trigger, so we gotta wait for that to resolve first, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. So what are we gonna add? We added an Olympus, I think? Yeah, we added the Olympus. We've got 8 Don left. We're going to use 1 for leader ability? No, we're going to use 7 now. Go ahead and play the Luffy. Looks like I'm just debating. No, we're going to put the 1 on the Luffy, swing into the vanilla. What is it? Bins? It's called Bins, okay. And then we're going to use the Luffy ability to restand, putting back King Kongan, Luffy, blockers, tons of Bartolomeo blockers, but True Bastardo Sword. What else? And another True Bastardo Sword. Like, that's something I actually like to do. I like to make sure that I have an even number of removal and also the ability to kill split up amongst the last cards in my deck whenever I start stacking at the end of the game. I just think it's the right way to do it. So, right now we've restood. He currently has 2 Luffys, the Sugar. He's in a very good position. And also he can just 10 drop here because he's on 10 Don. So he could potentially just rest the Sabo, the Cavendish, and my leader, which isn't bad. But he's going to swing 5 into life. We do choose to 2k counter with the Gaiats. Swing 7 into life, which we just take. We got the True Bastardo, but we can't use it, sadly. Plays the, and there's the 10 drop, like I said. Okay, and he chooses this. I think he rested everything but my leader. So, oh no, it looks like I'm trying to restand, but I can't. But yeah, he didn't rest my leader in that play. Okay, that's interesting. So how are we going to play this? Because we don't have the King Kong gun. I believe there was 4 cards left in my deck, so we're currently 4 cards off from it. So for us to theoretically get to it, we need to have a few more. So how do we get to where we want to be? Like, we can use the leader ability, rest 1, to go ahead and see if we can get something good. We got the Kyros and an Olympus, so that's pretty decent. Looks like I'm debating on adding that Kyros to hand. We had the Olympus, though, probably wanting the counter over the ability to swing with it. At this stage in the game, I think counter is way more important. Like, we're on free life, which puts us in a decent position, but he does have a lot of big bodies. And currently, we can't do much with them. But it looks like I'm putting a ton of Don onto my Luffy. So we're going to go ahead and swing, I think that's 13 into the Luffy blocker. Too big for him to just, like, he needed to use 3 cards for this. So he uses the restand and lets it okay, so that's interesting. He chose to use Spiderweb there, but didn't get any value out of the Spiderweb. But it looks like I'm just stacking my deck again here, putting back some removals, some blockers, and also the ability to kill with a King Kong gun and a Luffy. But that's interesting. Why would you use the Spiderweb there? Okay. Right, so he does go ahead and sue you. Well, I go ahead and sue you, and he goes ahead and uses the Sugar ability because it's mandatory. And then I go ahead and play a blocker and then just swing into the Sugar. Okay, so we're currently looking at the 10 drop. We're looking at the Doflamingo. He can't kill us because there isn't really a rush card he could play here unless he plays the 9 drop Kaido, but highly doubt he's playing that. No film build, Film Doffy plays that card. It's not really worth it. So where is he going to go with this? What's the play here? Like, he has options. He does have options. Like, he could just go ahead and swing into life twice. He could also potentially drop another 10 drop Doffy, locking me out of, what, the Sabo, the Cavendish. But no, he's going to go for a big swing into the Luffy. Okay. Even though we know that the next one is, like, in the next few cards. Interesting. But it is going to put me back a bit because I can't swing into life. So, does he just swing into a blocker with his leader? Or does he try to take a life from me? That's the question. Because he put a ton of Don onto that. I think he's got like 2 Don left. I can't really tell. It's either 1 or 2. But he's going to go ahead and swing into the IDEO. And then he's going to... Oh no, he had 4 Don left. So he's going to go ahead and play an Uta. And then he passes. So we draw for turn. Looking at our hand, thinking what the best play is now. Like, where do we go from here? Do we go ahead and play blockers? Do we go ahead and play more characters? What is the play from here on out? Okay, so it looks like we're debating if we want to use Don here. Like, we could always go ahead and use the Don. But we're going to put 1 onto the Cavendish, swinging into the Uta for 7. Okay, so does he choose to counter out of this with an event? Does he choose to block, or does he just let it die? He chooses to counter out of it with an event, wanting to keep that Uta alive. Okay. And I think at this point I was also explaining to him that you can't use the Uta ability because it didn't block. Because it's one of those funny things where it's like, oh, you have to be able to actually block it, but you didn't block it because the Cavendish swung straight into it. So we're going to play the Olympus. Olympus is going to kill the Rebecca. Oh no, we're going to go ahead and use the leader ability first. And then we're going to use the Olympus to kill the Rebecca, decreasing the 10 drop. Going ahead and looking at the top 2. And then we play True Bastardo to remove the 10 drop. Good, good, good. Getting rid of that. Okay. Where is the next play then? What's the next thing we can do? So it looks like he's debating if he wants to use his Don. He does choose to go ahead and swing quite big. I think that's 8 into the Cavendish. Like, he should remove this Cavendish. Like, that is a very bad card for him right now. But we just choose to counter out. Bring it out to 9k. And then he goes ahead and plays the Film Luffy with the Brook. So he does have 2 blockers. He doesn't have any cards in hand, though. So we can effectively just clear his board. Because we should have a 7-drop Luffy in hand. So we should be able to put 1 Don onto the Cavendish, swing into the Uta. And then play out the 7-drop Luffy, swing into the Uta, and then swing into the Brook. Effectively clearing his board and leaving him with virtually nothing left. Okay. This is one of the things I like about the Rebecca deck. It does have a very, very cool matchup when it comes down to certain plays like this. And I can't wait to actually play this in the new format as well. I'm thinking of different ways to play it, but it does lose a lot of power now just because we lost the ability to just... Oh, did I really just go ahead and Olympus kill itself? Interesting. Okay, but we're going to go ahead and clear both the Luffy and also the Uta. Interesting play on my part. We're going to rest 7. Play the Luffy. Luffy's going to swing into the Brook. Then we're going to use leader ability, adding the King Kong gun, using the Luffy ability to restand itself, putting back Luffy, King Kong gun, IDO, Gaiats, just a ton of different 2k counters. Then we restand the Luffy, and then we pass turn. Okay, does he have anything to play here? He goes ahead and swings 5, we go ahead and block. He plays 10 drop, locking down all of my characters but the 7-drop Luffy. So we can't kill him on the following turn because he does have 3 life. Oh no, those shouldn't have been re-standed. My mistake, obviously. But let's see what we're gonna do here, because we can't hit life. That's the unfortunate part here. We can't actually hit his life. So we go ahead and make Luffy into a double attacking 13k. But we're gonna swing into the Doffy, getting rid of that. Then we're gonna restand it. And then swing again into life, taking 2 life from him. He goes ahead and takes the 2 life. Does he have any triggers? He doesn't have any. Okay, and then we go ahead and play the Sabo. Going ahead and trashing an Olympus and a 3000 Wilds, and we play IDO and pass. Okay, so this is turning out pretty good for us. We've got a full board. The Doffy player is out of steam, essentially. So is there any way he can kind of make a comeback here? Like, he's got a load of cards, but he's just going to make a huge swing into the Sabo. We block. Looks like he goes ahead and surrenders there, and that is the game, guys. So pretty much that was an interesting game, I'm not gonna lie. Like, how it was a back and forth at the start and how different plays came into effect with the Doffy deck and the Rebecca deck is pretty interesting. And I think the downfall of the Doffy deck versus the Rebecca deck is that Olympus just being able to decrease their characters and kill 1-drops effectively is such a good trait for the Rebecca deck, and it's one of the reasons why I think the deck will still see some play going into OP04.5. Whereas it's not a dead deck, but obviously losing Lord, Zoro, and Whitebeard did actually weaken it quite a bit. But anyway, guys, I hope you did enjoy this. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Absolute Duelist signing out. Later on.